Understanding your teen's psychology, walking alongside them as they grow, decoding your teen's mind. Hello, dear parents. When children enter puberty, that confusing age with so many changes, it often leaves many parents feeling bewildered, even stressed. The once obedient child suddenly becomes different, hard to understand. The previously stable parent-child relationship seems turned upside down. Is this something you're experiencing? Don't worry too much. This is a necessary developmental stage that every child goes through, and your child's emotional turmoil is completely normal. To better accompany your child through this sensitive period, we need to clearly understand what's happening inside their inner world. Key points to remember. Before diving into the details, let's grasp a few main points. First, the moody, even somewhat impulsive, psychology of children at this age is a natural part of growing up. Second, to become true adults, they need to accomplish 4 important tasks: building independence, accepting their body image, developing peer relationships, and shaping their personal identity. If they encounter difficulties or get stuck in any of these tasks, they might face psychological challenges. Now, let's explore each aspect more closely together. Puberty. More than physical changes. Many parents surely notice their child seems to be growing incredibly fast lately. Just yesterday they were small, and now they're tall and more mature looking. This is thanks to the process of puberty with strong biochemical changes inside the body. But puberty isn't just about changing physical appearance. Along with physical development, hormonal changes also stir up the child's inner psychological world. This is why many parents find this stage so challenging. Are you noticing? Your child's mood swings wildly between happy and sad, with emotions so intense they're hard to understand? Your child prefers spending time with friends, or just wants to be alone in their room, no longer confiding in parents as much as before? Conversations with your child easily turn into arguments and disagreements? If you're experiencing these things, rest assured, you are not alone. These are very common difficulties. However, parental worry can multiply if you see more concerning signs like prolonged sadness, excessive anxiety, chronic stress, strict dieting, or even self-harm or negative thoughts about life. No one wants their child to go through such terrible things. Therefore, during this turbulent period, it's extremely important for parents to understand their child's psychological changes, be sensitive in observing them, and recognize unusual signs early to provide the right support promptly. 4 important tasks teens need to complete. So, for your child to step confidently into adulthood, what milestones do they need to pass? Psychological experts point out that there are 4 core developmental tasks that every adolescent must face and strive to complete. They are: building independence, accepting and being satisfied with their body image, establishing and maintaining peer relationships, finding and affirming their personal identity, whether they like it or not. Our children have to grapple with these 4 tasks. Let's learn more about each task to know how to accompany them. The journey towards independence. The first task, and also the one that causes many parents the most concern, is the child's desire for independence. Are you seeing your child start to pull away from family activities? Refusing to go out with the family, not wanting to do chores as assigned, or wanting private space and keeping secrets? These are often the first signs that your child craves self-reliance. Wanting to step out from under the parent's protective wing. In the early teen years, around 12 to 14, your child might fluctuate between being pleasant and irritable with the family. If parents try too hard to control, the child tends to become more resistant. This really makes it difficult for both sides. But if the child gradually becomes independent smoothly and builds good relationships outside the family, that forms a solid foundation for their maturity. The challenge here is for both parents and child to find a balance. the child gains independence while still maintaining a close, positive relationship with the family. Moving into the middle stage. Around 15 to 17 years old, dissatisfaction with parents or authority figures can become more pronounced. Conflicts can erupt on many fronts, from chores, homework, curfews, dating, to even clothing choices. The child might rebel openly, or secretly do forbidden things behind adults' backs to assert their independence. Fortunately, as they enter the late teen years, from 18 to 21, they usually have formed a clearer personality and are more mature in their thinking and decisions. At this point, parents also feel somewhat more at ease. Teens are more confident with their physical appearance and sometimes proactively seek advice from parents. Although they don't always follow it, the interaction between parents and child now resembles more of an adult-to-adult relationship rather than the previous adult-to-child dynamic. Getting used to a changing body. Next, a major preoccupation for adolescents is body image. In the early stage, teens become increasingly aware of their bodies and its rapid changes. They are very concerned about whether their development is normal. Questions like, "Am I tall enough? Is my chest big enough?" or worries about sensitive body parts are very common. Even normal physiological changes like breast development or vaginal discharge can cause fear if not explained properly. By the middle stage, teens are usually more accustomed to these changes but become extremely focused on their appearance. Clothes, hair, makeup, acne, weight become critically important issues. They might start exercising or dieting to achieve the ideal body shape. However, if they hold distorted beliefs about their body, they might resort to extreme, unscientific diets that harm their health. This is also the stage when curiosity about dating, romance, and sexuality begins. By the late stage, teens have generally adapted better to their changing bodies. Many young people have developed an awareness of reproductive health and contraception. Romantic relationships become less about initial curiosity and exploration, focusing more on love and sharing. Friends, the teen's important world. Let's talk about an indispensable part of your child's world, friends. In the early teen years, as the child tentatively steps away from the family circle, they aren't strong enough to stand completely alone. At this time, the support and encouragement from peers are incredibly necessary. Like the lifeline, if the child struggles to make friends, or worse, is ostracized or isolated by peers, they can easily feel insecure, disappointed, become shy, and develop negative beliefs about themselves. By the middle stage, the bond with their peer group becomes extremely intense. Teens are significantly influenced by their friends. Sometimes, the group even sets unspoken rules that members must follow, such as dressing alike or having shared interests. Going against the grain can risk exclusion from the group. Worryingly, peer pressure can sometimes involve risky behaviors like experimenting with sex, substance use, or violence. Thankfully, as they get older, in the late teen stage, individuality is more respected. A teen can attend a party and choose not to drink alcohol even if others are drinking. Peer groups no longer demand the same level of conformity. However, sometimes teens might feel a bit sad or nostalgic because friendships aren't as intense or close as they were before. Finding their own identity. Who am I? And the final task, perhaps the most profound, is the journey to find personal identity. The big question constantly swirling in a teen's mind during this stage is, who am I? This question covers many aspects. What do I look like? What career do I want? What should I study? What are my relationships like? What is my sexual orientation? What are my views on society and politics? What are the things I truly love and am passionate about? Teens often feel very uncertain and tend to experiment, exploring various options to gradually shape who they are. They try different styles, participate in diverse activities, and encounter new ways of thinking. If they don't succeed in finding their own answers, they might fall into a state of confusion, withdraw from society, isolate themselves, or lose themselves by blending into the crowd without their own opinions. When your child faces difficulties, recognizing and supporting. We've just walked through the 4 major tasks of adolescence according to developmental stages. Through this, hopefully, parents can see that the mood swings in their child, or the difficulties parents themselves face while raising teens, are mostly very normal parts of the growing up process. However, every child is unique, with their own pace of development and personality traits. It's important to note that when a child gets stuck, facing significant obstacles in completing one or more of the tasks mentioned, they are very likely to encounter psychological difficulties. These might include prolonged feelings of sadness or hopelessness, constant worry or stress, obsessive thoughts or anxiety about appearance, self-harming behaviors. If these difficulties become severe and prolonged, they can cross the boundary from normal to becoming real psychological problems, also known as psychological disorders. For example, when a child tries to become independent but is overly controlled by parents. Constant conflicts might lead to depression. Or if a child becomes excessively obsessed with height or weight and adopts extreme dieting habits, they might develop an eating disorder. Although not every child experiences puberty exactly as described. As parents, we can do a lot to help and support our children in successfully completing these important tasks during this challenging yet incredibly meaningful stage. Your understanding, patience, and love are the greatest sources of strength to help your child walk confidently on the path to adulthood.